You didn't get that on camera, did you? Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Coffee with Father James. I have my Our Lady of Guadalupe parish mug. No, it's not a parish mug, it's just a mug. If we ever do get official Our Lady of Guadalupe parish mugs, you'll be the first to know. Anyway, this past weekend we had the second leadership summit in our parish. We had one at the end of November, and it was an amazing experience. We gathered with about 55 leaders of all shapes and sizes and ages, and we had a blast. We met at 9 o'clock in the morning until 12 noon. We had some social time. We opened with a prayer. There was an icebreaker. Deacon David did a great icebreaker. It was a lot of fun. It was really funny. And then there was a presentation. I gave a talk, and for the next hour, there were various activities for reflection and discussion, and we had a break, and we wrapped up the morning with some time to talk about practical things. Denise Trim, the Director of Operations, gave some feedback on practical things around buildings and operations of ministries. I gave a 10-minute session on what's coming up, some of the changes, because we want the people who were there to take what they learned and take it back to the people they work with. We had a testimony, and we finished with a time of prayer, about half an hour, praying for the Holy Spirit. We remember that Jesus said to his disciples after his resurrection, he said, "Stay in the city until you're clothed with power from on high, and then go do what I'm asking you to do." Sometimes we think, oh, I just need to give it my best shot, humanly speaking, and that's enough. But no, it's never going to be enough. We need to give it our best shot, but to do it in the power of the Holy Spirit. So we had a beautiful time of prayer. And I tell you, it was our goal with these leadership summits for people to leave saying, you know something, that was fantastic. That was amazing. I thought this was going to be a waste of time, but it was actually a lot of fun. It was life-giving. I feel supported. I feel built up. I feel encouraged. Do you know something? I think, thanks be to God, we were able to pull that off. I even heard people say, what I've learned here this morning is applicable to my job, or it's applicable to my family situation. And it's true, because leadership and our ability to be intentional about the leadership gifts that God has given us makes a huge difference. So why do we have leadership summits? And who was there anyway? Well, basically, it's not a absolutely defined group, but we've got members of the Pastoral Council, Finance Council, leadership team, parish staff, and the leaders of various ministries. And we invite them to bring along one or two people in whom they see leadership potential to come together. And our goal is to invest in people, to grow people as leaders, so that we can have we can impact our parish, because our parish needs to be transformed. We need to get our parish to a healthy place. We need to change how things are done. We're not changing our core beliefs, but we need to change how things are done. And this is called pastoral conversion. Guess what? Pastoral conversion doesn't happen by itself. It needs to be led. And the more leaders, the better. But you may say, but Father, what are you talking about? There's only one priest. There's only so many people who are on the parish staff. But you see, there's two types of leaders. There are people who have leadership positions, and there's people who maybe don't have a formal position. You might just say, well, I'm just a... And when I hear people say that, I always say, don't say that. You're not just a parishioner. You are given responsibility for the mission of the church as much as I am. I may have a different role, but you also have a role. And leadership, real leadership, when you boil it down, is really about influence, the ability to influence in love and service another person. And through that influence, to motivate, to inspire, to even equip people, to roll up their sleeves and get involved so we can make this transformation happen. And so that's who we've invited, and that's why we have leadership summits. We had our first one last November. We looked at the topic of defining leadership and why are we having leadership summits and what do we hope to achieve. It went really well. People left very, very encouraged, as we had hoped. And this past Saturday, we looked at the fact that for any organization, including a church, to be healthy, you need to have healthy soil. And that soil is the human realm of a parish. And sometimes in many organizations and in many parishes, things can be a little bit toxic. The thing is that it doesn't matter how good the seeds are, if the soil is toxic, it doesn't grow. And it's the same in a church. Nothing wrong with the seed. The seed is perfect, but it's the soil of the human heart, the soil of a social context. And so we looked at what makes soil toxic. Things like, think of the worst team you were ever part of, the worst workplace or sports team, and how the fact that you didn't like it, and why didn't you like it? What were the attributes? Think of the best team you were ever a part of. What were the attributes? Why did you like it? You see very quickly the difference between the two. And so we talked about that. We did some exercises, and we invited each other to speak into each other. In a sense, we talked about being accountable to and for one another, so that if we see and witness things that are in ourselves or in others that are not healthy, instead of doing what often happens, just talking about each other, do you see what that Father James did again? We actually go and talk to one another. And that's not just about a relationship with me, it's about one another. If we can get that right, if we can move closer to getting that right, the soil condition can be healthier and the seed can grow and bear fruit. And the more people taking responsibility for this, the more, in a sense, leaders that we have, the more that will happen. So that's why we have leadership summits. I just wanted to give you a little quick oversight of what we've been doing and why we're doing it. And if you're a member of a ministry or a leader in a ministry and you haven't yet connected with the Leadership Summit, why don't you come out for the next one? We'd love to see you there. It's probably going to be in May, in April, May. We'll let you know when the time draws near. Thank you, and God bless.